Hi and welcome to the Market Alert for Friday, the 18th of July 2025. So ahead of tomorrow's 2.8 trillion option expiration, retail investors have never traded more over the desk options than before. So 2.8 trillion in value of options. As it says here, and rightly so, the market is officially a casino where almost everyone just bets on red of green, of course. Wow, 2.8 trillion. So expect some volatility then. Stocks gain and bonds flatten amid positive data. And also US stocks gain following better than expected data, including retail sales, Philly Fed and jobless claims. And finally, this was an interesting headline. What will happen if Trump fires Powell? I don't think he will. I don't think he'd take the risk. He said, as this article says, 10-year yields up another 20 basis points. That's the last thing it needs. 30-year yields up around 45. 2 yields down another 20 basis points, and the dollar falling 6%. It's the last thing he would want. So, but he's mad enough. So let's see what happens going forward. But that's interesting because yesterday we spoke about what would happen to the markets. I mean, it would be carnage. I noticed they don't mention stocks there, but they would also head south very quickly as well. Economic news today, just a couple from the US at 3 p.m. There's nothing outside of this of any note. Prelim UM consumer sentiment and prelim UM inflation expectations. So there's a few cost news items there, inflationary ones. Let's see what happens there as well, but that's not until 3 p.m. So let's have a look at the markets from yesterday. Some new all-time highs. The madness continues. So let's kick off with the Dow. And in the Dow, you can see that we're heading up to, we didn't make a new all-time high, but we're breaking that sort of downtrend pattern that we're seeing there. We've got a breakout, so it won't be long before we're at 45,077, unless Trump does sack Powell. So prices continue. He may actually, just stopping myself there, he may actually resign. He might just say, I've had enough of this moron. And step down as well. So, and if that happened, then we'd have the opposite effect, where obviously Trump has won again, and also the stock market would fly to the moon, as it were, because then they know whoever is getting in next is going to cut rates, because that's ultimately what Trump wants. But back to the Dow, we're heading back outside of that situation and scenario to 45,077. 30-minute chart, well, you can just see yesterday afternoon, spot of good news, and the market heads to the north, and you can see already we're over the high of yesterday, trading above it and heading to the upside as well. So in the German DAX, heading back to the all-time highs, nothing to stop it. It's a gambling house, as the headline just said. We're moving up nicely there, but no surprise to anybody who's followed the Market Alert for the last few years. It's a one-way bet, baby. It's a one-way bet. There's nothing to stop these markets from continuing to move to the upside. And there you can see that again yesterday afternoon. The Dow moved higher, the S&P moved higher, and the DAX followed higher too. And why wouldn't it? It's got the excuse to do so. Let's have a look at the S&P. And in the S&P, we have a new all-time high being created as I record. Again, nothing to stop this market. It's going to keep going. And the same yesterday, very quiet until the news yesterday afternoon. And you can see there the market moving to the upside. In the UK 100, we're heading back to the all-time high. So Rachel from accounts will be thrilled. 30-minute chart, bit choppy to begin with. I see the market down, a few political noises. But it didn't take long for the market to break out with the Dow. And overnight it is continuing to move up as well. So the FT 100 heading back to new all-time highs. 10,000 is the target for this market. And in the US dollar, sideways to high, good recovery. This was the threat, obviously, the day before of Trump, or the rumour that he was going to sack Powell, or wants to sack Powell. And we can see what happened with the dollar there when it turned out not to be the case, or he wasn't going to do it just yet. The market has recovered and is sideways to higher for the US dollar. But what about the metals? Let's have a look at those. And as we start off with silver, the market up yesterday and sideways to higher there, and trying to get back to that $39.11, $39.11 to get back up to this level, which is about 15 year high. Not the all-time high, that's way off. It's the only thing in the world that isn't at its all-time high. And yesterday you can see nice shakeout by the LBMA. Let's get rid of a few shorts. Let's offload if we can, because there's nothing to stop this market or prevent it from moving higher at the moment. And you can see their overnight price is also trying to stay above yesterday's high, but it's looking a bit precarious there at the moment, particularly if we take out the low of this bar. You could expect to see a bit of weakness. It's also Friday, smash down Friday if they can get the opportunity. However, in gold, the market continues to consolidate in a range, which is good news, because when it breaks out during its seasonal pattern it's actually next month, I think August time, August, September, then that's got plenty to move back up to the 3,500 level. And there again, you can see the LBMA switch back to the upside. Market just sitting on the DP area there at the moment. So we'll look at the gold-silver ratio. And in this, we see this down yesterday and sideways to lower also overnight. So things moving in the right direction for the gold-silver ratio as well, to try and get back below this line here of 86, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere around there. Okay, let's have a look at the 2-minute chart for the German DAX yesterday. Quick look at the trades, see what's happening overnight as well. So in the pre-market session, one-way bet, market gets to 6 o'clock. I don't know what it was, but 6 a.m. the market took off. We then get to 6:30, the market's still moving to the upside, and then by 7 a.m. they decided to start bringing the market down. So it was an hour early, this move. Normally it's 7 a.m, but 6 a.m. they pump the markets up over 100 points. We then get a sideways move as the cash market comes on stream. We come back, we retest the high. Below this we've got the 200 MA, and then prices move to the upside there, which you can see, and then start to move down following this sell signal as well. Once we broke the R1, came back through the averages all the way down to the high, and guess what? At the high we see the buying coming back into the market there once more. Now the struggle is to get through the 50 EMA and the 20 bar moving average, which prices don't. They come back down and retest the 200 MA, the high, and then they spike down, take out the stops, and then bring the market back to the high as much as they can. But prices then move up to fill the trade on the high side, but then it gets slammed again. So if we can't go up, we've got to shake out the traders before we can move up, and then we see a bit of a shakeout there, and then we get into the sideways move all the way through to the news from the US, and then we're into the afternoon session. So the Dow obviously already starting to move higher in the futures. Cash markets opening at 230, and there we go, we see the markets moving higher once more and continuing up for over 70 points before prices then have a breather, come back to the R1, and then get into a bit of a sideways move until after 4:30, when Europe's closed. The market then on the electronic system starts to move to the upside. But a quick look, see where we are overnight, and you'll see it's a bit choppy there at the moment. But let's have a look, see where we are as far as the highs. Oh, we're already through the high, which we've looked at, haven't we? So it's uncharted territory. We've got the R1 there, and we've got the R2 above this. Let's have a look and see where the all-time high is, just out of curiosity. Should have done this in the other DAX analysis, but let's just have a look, see if we've got a... There we go, we've got 24,644. See if we've got a pivot point around this price. 24,644, 24,5, so just above. Yeah, 24,6. Yeah, so just above this area here, above the R2. And certainly there, it's above, that's above there, that's sevens now. So in between here. So we'll just have to wait and see if that happens. Will it happen today? Well, I don't see why it can't happen. We have had 400-500 point moves before. Depends on the option expiration. as well. That could play a part as well. Right, well, that's it for this one, for this week. So have a great weekend. Like I say, keep an eye on those options expiring around the 1:30 time. Could be a bit of volatility. A lot of money there at $2.8 trillion that needs to be closed out. But I'm sure it won't be an issue. But just keep it in mind. And also, of course, it's Friday. The prospect that Trump could come out of nowhere and sack Powell. So who knows? Right, other than that, have a great weekend. And as ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.